Welcome back to the channel. This is your boy Ray, and today we're going to be discussing the view melting down and some other things over Mark Zuckerberg. So, if you are on a platform of his, which is Facebook, Instagram, Threads, I have an issue with this guy. I do not believe what he is saying because we all know the breaking news has come out saying he's going to allow free speech now, and he's blaming the Biden administration and all that, for censoring him and making him, follow their guidelines. First of all, this man donated $420 million in 2020 to the Democrat Party, and then you're going to bow down and listen to him. First of all, if I donated $420 million to somebody, I'm sure as the heck not going to let them tell me what to do. So here we go. Let's get into this and let's just listen to the ladies having a meltdown on the view here. Let's get through. Maybe we can get to it.
Fact-checking on the social media site.
We've reached a point where it's just too many mistakes and too much censorship.
Will this unleash a flood of...
We've never seen anything like this. It is prompt owner Elon Musk by getting rid of third-party fact-checking on the site. Now, here's what he said yesterday.
We've reached a point where it's just too many mistakes and too much censorship. The recent elections also feel like a cultural tipping point towards once again prioritizing speech. So we're going to get back to our roots and focus on reducing mistakes, simplifying our policies, and restoring free expression on our platforms. We're going to get rid of fact checkers and replace them with community notes similar to X. We're going to simplify our content policies.
Similar to X. Now, please leave me a comment if you believe this guy. Let me know what you're thinking, because let me tell you something. I've been shadow banned. Last week was the third time in the past month of December or January, and then in December I was twice, and once in January already shadow banned because I reposted a video of Trump that at least 100,000 people had already reposted. So I'm kind of sketchy about this. I don't really think I believe this guy that he's going to allow free speech. But what gets me here is I get shadow banned for reposting a video that's been reposted probably 1,000,000 times. But you can go on Instagram and you can see some of the wildest, craziest high school fights, the most extreme Karens, in arguments, people going, pew pew, and, all kinds of battles and drive-bys and all kinds of stuff, videos, just one after another, just flooding that thing. And another thing I have an issue with Instagram is they cater to one side. They're biased, in my opinion. Especially if you're a conservative. But if you got blue, purple, pink hair with all kinds of stuff in your face, which I don't have a problem with that. If you want to stick something in your face, that's your business, or your mouth for that matter. But here's the thing. Don't be biased, Mark Zuckerberg. And here's another thing. If you're a female on those platforms, you can, ride around in a bathing suit or, do whatever, show your butt, and you will create a page with 100,000 followers in a week, a lot quicker than a man that's been on there for 10 years trying to build his company or advertise or show him videos or whatever it may be. So it is a very biased blue, platform. So we're going to see exactly if I'm just waiting. I'm going to see if he actually allows free speech because, like I said, I've been banned 3 times in the last month and a half or so. Let's listen.
And get rid of a bunch of restrictions on topics like immigration and gender that are just out of touch with mainstream discourse. We used to have filters that scanned for any policy violation. Now we're going to focus those filters on tackling illegal and high severity violations. And for lower severity violations, we're going to rely on someone reporting an issue before we take action.
Oh boy.
Let's see what they say.
I'm just curious because human rights activists warn that this is a major step back that'll have misinformation, conspiracy theories, and bigotry running wild on the site.
No, they're not stepping back. This is not going to be misinformation. This will be the truth. And the reason these ladies are hating it is because now people on social media will see if he allows free speech and everybody to post their free stuff like X, they will see the bullcrap lies that these people push daily.
My question is, when did fact checking become a bad thing?
Since Donald Trump became president.
Yes. Absolutely. You're right. Absolutely.
No, it's because the legacy media and the mainstream media don't fact check the Democrat Party. They only want to try to fact check the Republicans or the conservative party. So these people here put fear, and they run fear mongering, and they tell lies, and they don't have to worry about someone fact checking them, and they can turn the narrative the way they want because their party is donating money to them.
I have said from the beginning that the worst thing that he has done is cause this misinformation and lying going on.
Alternative facts.
This alternative facts that Kellyanne Conway, she said alternative facts. You know, this.
Wait a minute. Now, this is the first time I'm watching this video, guys. So this is crazy. Like, really?
This guy Zuckerberg, I saw the movie, wasn't it Social Network?
Yes.
Where he says basically, I'm creating Facebook so people have a community, so that people can talk to each other. All of a sudden, it's become this big thing and a big lying.
I think they're jealous because another billionaire has went to Mar-a-Lago, bent the knee, kissed the ring, and now he's woke up, took the red pill. Maybe. We're going to see. I mean, this guy completely has Dana White on the head of the board now. Mark Zuckerberg does. So, he said he wanted to run it like X. So we're going to see if he does, because I'm on X. You can follow me over there as well. I can tell you right now, it is a free speech platform. These ladies are completely melting down. I mean, they're mad because Trump has someone else in his corner, and someone is seeing common sense. In my opinion, this is just for entertainment only, guys. For me, for my opinion and my truth is they're melting down because Trump is actually making sense to these people.
Machine that's going on. And, the wokeness is what is at the bottom of this.
Yeah, I just want to say, I'm sorry. If
you are the woke,
being woke is a bad thing, that means that the fact that I care about you, regardless of what you say or who you are, I want to make sure your family is as well off as mine.
Woke is a bad thing. You don't know why? Because they're trying to push all this woke stuff into our lives that we don't care what you do. Don't push it on our children. Don't push it in us. Don't force us to agree with your pronouns. Don't force us to agree with, men in the women's locker rooms and all that stuff. That's what's wrong with the wokeness.
That's too woke. It's too woke for me to say to you, hey, listen, if you don't want your kids reading this, maybe the best thing to do is let's go to the library together, and I'll tell the librarian what I don't mind my kids reading, and then you can tell the librarian what you don't want your kids to read. That's too woke.
Well, the new rules on Meta, Facebook, they're imperfect. I will say this. I think it's a balance between content moderation, free speech, and fact checking. And what I think Facebook has gotten wrong for some time is they've had third-party fact checkers, but then Facebook Meta would ultimately make a decision on, can this content be on? Oftentimes fact checkers can't, or these staffers at Facebook can have biases. I actually think, listen, X has become a hellhole for a lot of reasons, but I think that community notes actually work. You have to cite your source.
Let me interrupt you. What does free speech have to do with fact checking?
Because it's imperfect.
Because they're suppressing it, Joy. And look at the evilness on Sonny's face. She is just waiting to eat this conservative girl butt up. Watch her. That is pure evil. Or she's just, really just soaking because her husband's in this big indictment right now.
Perfect. It's not as simple as the sky is blue, the grass is green. We know the facts on that. Sometimes it comes into opinions or viewpoints. This is still a town square. I tend to be a free speech absolutist as long as it's not harming someone else.
We know the difference between an opinion and a fact. We do
no,
it
but
every day.
A lot of this can be viewpoints where somebody could say, well, this is my viewpoint on it. And they were moderating things around language you used around certain issues. But to the point I was saying, community notes actually work. They have to be cited to sources. My issue is the algorithms. These tech companies are run by billionaires. They're completely unaccountable. Congress hasn't regulated tech in over 30 years, and they can push what you're seeing more of. They can hold back what you're not seeing. And that, to me, is the biggest issue. But we can complain about it all we want. We need to tell Congress that they need to also get involved.
Yeah, good luck.
Why would you need to tell Congress they need to get? You guys are a talk show. You guys sit there and tell your opinion just like I do. That's all you are. You're not news. You're not reporters. You're a talk show for lonely single cat ladies or old women sitting in your audience or some guy that's, messing just nutty over you.
Absolutely do. The misinformation, the World Economic Forum listed misinformation and disinformation as the most severe short-term threat globally. So by removing these fact checkers, I understand the concern was, and Joy, this might answer your question, there were some conservative viewpoints that were being taken down. So these fact checking industry started right in 2016 when President Trump was elected the first time. Yeah, it would be
always blame Trump, don't they? Every issue in the world, they blame Trump. Trump ain't even in there right now, and they're blaming Trump.
something like when there were debates on masks or shutdowns, they were taking these things off of the site, which as someone who could have debated that, these people were saying you're taking our content off of this site. But there's a difference between Alex.
Is that allegedly or is that factual?
Oh, there's
that's their conversation. Yeah, there are reports, there are things they took off. But the bigger point here is there's a difference between Alex Jones spewing hate, disgusting, false, and having a difference of opinion. But either.
Oh, okay. So what's wrong with Alex Jones? He's not spewing hate. He is spewing the truth. That's why they don't like him.
Way, I'd rather have them get it wrong occasionally with a screen door between free speech and say anything you want. So I'm frustrated that they did this because social media is already on the downgrade, and he pretty much admitted he did this because of President Trump.
You know, I'm going to just reject the fact that we don't know what a fact is.
Really?
I reject it outright. There is a difference between opinion and fact. And there is, journalists like people that are, work for the New York Times, they know how to fact check. Journalism students are taught you fact check 3 different sources.
Journalists have gotten things wrong, though.
So this notion that, the reason that they're doing this is because, they can't fact check it.
But free speech gives you a right to be wrong. I have a right to post something that's inaccurate. I have a right to say the grass is blue.
Facts are different.
That shouldn't be taken down simply because it's fact.
Disinformation is different. And so I think what you're finding is this company is also getting rid of content restrictions on topics like gender identity and immigration. Calling women, by the way, household objects is now permitted on Facebook.
But do you think?
Good. That's free speech, Sonny. That is what you call free speech. See, this is what the problem is. They cannot stand someone speaking their mind, and they know it.
It shouldn't be as much.
Users are now allowed to, for example, refer to women as household objects.
It's an interesting conversation.
Let's take a break because.
So right there, they are completely just going crazy, crazy, crazy. And let's jump over here for a minute to this young man. I think it's funny. They just right here. Let's listen to what here. Let's see what. At this point, here's what we're going to show for this week. Let's see what he says here.
Experience
on the surface. It's like, okay, we'll build controls to make it so we'll find IP.
Let's go right here.
We were going in that direction for the last few years. It seemed like we really found out about it when Elon bought Twitter and we got the Twitter files. And when you came on here and when you were explaining the relationship with FBI, where they were trying to get you to take down certain things that were true and real and certain things they tried to get you to limit the exposure to them. So it's these kind of conversations. Like, when did all that start?
Yeah, well, look, I think going back to the beginning, or like I was saying, I think you start one of these if you care about giving people a voice. I wasn't too deep on our content policies for like the first 10 years of the company. It was just kind of well known across the company that we were trying to give people the ability to share as much as possible. And issues would come up, practical issues, right? So if someone's getting bullied, for example, we deal with that, or we put in place systems to fight bullying.
Wait a minute. Bullying? Dude, you can get on Facebook or Instagram and you can find 10 million videos of high school kids beating the crap out of other kids and bullying. I don't believe this guy. If you believe this, let me know in the comments. Please let me know and hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to this channel, but listen to this.
If someone is saying, hey, someone's pirating copyrighted content on the service. It's like, okay, we'll build controls to make it so we'll find IP protected content. But it was really in the last 10 years that people started pushing for like ideological based censorship. And I think it was two main events that really triggered this. In 2016, there was the election of President Trump, also coincided with basically Brexit in the EU and sort of the fragmentation of the EU. And then, in 2020, there was COVID. And I think that those were basically these two events where for the first time, we just faced this massive institutional pressure to basically start censoring content on ideological grounds.
And I'm sorry to interrupt you, but
call him out, Joe. He was censoring content.
First came up in 2016. Did it come under the guise of the Russian collusion hoax?
And this is the thing. At the time, I was really sort of ill prepared to kind of parse what was going on. Right? It's I think part of my reflection looking back on this is I kind of think in 2016 in the aftermath, I gave too much deference to a lot of folks in the media who were basically saying, okay, there's no way that this guy could have gotten elected except for misinformation. People can't actually believe this stuff, right? It has to be that there's this kind of like massive misinformation out there.
But it wasn't misinformation. Everything Trump had said has come true about the media, about the legacy media, about these woke groups, about these big corporate owners like Mark Zuckerberg, these billionaires that are censoring him and us.
Some of it started with the Russia collusion stuff, but it kind of morphed into different things over time.
Well, he was so ideologically polarizing, right? Like people didn't want to believe that anybody looked at him and said, this should be our president.
Yeah. So I took this and just kind of assumed that everyone was acting in good faith. And I said, okay, well, there are concerns about emergency. Your ability to speak can temporarily be curtailed in order to get an.
Like, what's a Facebook? How many people use it?
Shout out to Joe Rogan, by the way. Go watch this. It's a great podcast.
On a daily basis. Forget about how many overall. Like, how many people use it regularly?
It's 3.2 billion people use one of our services every day. It's wild. Into the kind of government censorship around stuff like this. And we produced all these documents and it's all in the public domain. I mean, basically, these people from the Biden administration would call up our team and like scream at them and curse. And it's like these documents it's all kind of out there.
Did you record any of those phone calls?
I don't think we but I think
I want to listen.
I mean, there are emails. the emails are published. It's all kind of out there. And
God, I can't stand that little smirk laugh he's got, Mark. Oh my God, I can see two faces. I can see a snake. Do you really believe that? Leave me a comment if you do. I mean, let me know either you believe it or don't. But first of all, you're a billionaire and you donate $420 million to the Biden administration to beat Trump. And then you're going to listen to them and bow down and they're going to tell you what to do with your own platform and you're going to do it. Come on, man. And then you think, do you really think that he's changed and he's took the red pill just because he went down and talked to Trump for a few minutes in a day and eat dinner with him and said, and now we're going to like just allow free speech like Elon Musk does? I mean, we're just going to open the platform up. I want to see who the first person is banned that I know, like friends with. Let's see if you can actually put free speech. It'd probably be me reposting something about Trump or political stuff.
And they're like, and basically it just got to this point where we were like, no, we're not gonna take down things that are true. That's ridiculous. They want us to take down this meme of Leonardo DiCaprio looking at a TV talking about how 10 years from now or something, you're gonna see an ad that says, okay, if you took a COVID vaccine, you're eligible for, for this kind of payment, like this sort of like class action lawsuit type meme. And they're like, no, you have to take that down. We just said, no, we're not going to take down humor and satire. We're not going to take down things that are that are true. And then at some point, I guess, I don't know, it flipped a bit. I mean, Biden, when he gave some statement at some point, I don't know if it was a press conference or to some journalists, where he basically was like, these guys are killing people. And I don't know. Then
he's stuttering. He don't know what to say because he knows he bowed down and did what the Biden administration did.
And like all these different agencies and branches of government basically just like started investigating and coming after our company. It was brutal. It was brutal.
So he bowed down. I got to stop right there, guys, or they're going to copyright me, and all that stuff. So let me know what you think. So basically he gave in. He's a billionaire. He gave them $420 million to beat Trump in 2020, I believe it was. And then he bent the knee to the Biden because Biden's people called and threatened him. So they got the big corporations on him and all that. That's what his excuse is. So now that Trump, so let me know in the comments, do you believe that he's just trying not to go to jail for the next 4 years while Trump's in office? Or do you believe he's really going to change the platform? Now we know for a fact that he did put Dana White on the board of his Meta company. And Dana White, we know how Dana White is. And Mark has made a comment saying that, he wants it ran more like, the X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, Twitter. I call it X, Elon Musk's, platform. Putting Dana White on the board, he said that Dana White knows how to run, a corporate big business like that and everything. And he will, I think Dana White will give him some good advice because I think that's what Mark wanted. He wanted Dana White to kind of guide him through and kind of, show him what they allow and what they don't allow and stuff like that. So I don't know. It's still to be, seen. He hasn't done it yet. He said it's going to take months and probably a year or two. No, it don't. Go in just like Elon Musk did. Fire 80% of the people that work there. You don't need all those fact checkers. He's saying 70% he's going to get rid of and this and that. We'll see. Thank you for watching this video. If you did like this video and want more to come, please leave me a comment. Please hit the like button. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And let me know your thoughts in the comments, man. Do you believe him or not? So this is your boy Ray, and this is the Right Lane Show. So let me know, and we'll see you next time.